woke up this morning and I had a hankering for the Atari Lynx. I went to the effort of modding it with an LCD screen and RGB video out, so I should play it more. Side note, you should totally check out my video doing just that. I also had a hankering for extreme Californian sports, but since my X game days are long over, I'll have to combine my needs with this. Californian games, released in 1989 by Epix. I've actually covered California games before on the NES, way back in 2017. Look at little 2017 Brendo. It's always interesting comparing ports between systems, especially since California games came out on everything from the ZX Spectrum to the Sega Genesis. So how does this port hold up? Especially since Epix designed the Lynx in the first place. That particular story is for another day, but the short of it is Epix wanted to release a handheld console, but ran into money problems during development. Moneybags Atari took over the contract, and after Epix went through bankruptcy, they continued to only develop for the Lynx with Atari as their sole publisher. Besides from being the original packing game for the Lynx in 1989, there's not that much to otherwise note besides from the lore that's shared by all releases. An example is Chuck Somerville, who designed the Half-Pipe game. He went on to develop Chip's Challenge. Ken Nicholson, who on the other hand designed the Footbag game, was later involved in DirectX. There's not a lot to mention about Californian games all in all. It's comprised of 4 mini-games that are radical, aggro, and most likely tubular. I like how the Wikipedia article sums it up. The game consists of a collection of outdoor sports purportedly popular in California. Does that sound a bit passive-aggressive to you? It's like it was written by an irritated California who actually knows what's going on. In the Lynx version, you're treated to BMX, surfing, halfpipe, and footbag. And no, that's not an example of long-lost slang from the late 80s. They're referring to Hacky Sack, which must be trademarked. Let's start with BMX. The aim is to make it to the end of the same track as fast as you can to earn points, while also performing flips for points. Yes, this game is very arcadey, and the overarching goal of the games are high scores, plain and simple. It's also evident immediately how much trial and error is involved, presumably because of the lack of gameplay in the first place. I was feeling sorry for the BMXer when I started. The poor bloke really should have been wearing a helmet. It's kind of like watching an episode of Funniest Home Videos. After some persistence, however, I was performing flips, mostly, and usually making it to the end of the track before the time ran out to boot. I still crashed an awful lot though, but with practice, you can earn that coveted high score, whatever it may be. You'll need to convince your mates if they aren't there to witness it however, as the cartridge has no way of saving the score once the Lynx is powered off. Bummer dude. Moving on to surfing. I found this to be my favourite because of how fluid it feels. The controls are quite responsive. The aim is to appropriately steer the board along a freakishly long wave. The key is to gain speed and get as high as you can, enabling spins for points. You can even hold down the A button to make a sharper turn, so you hit the wave at a more direct angle. If you hit the bottom, however, you'll wipe out and possibly become a shark's lunch. The event goes for 1.5 minutes or 3 wipeouts. As you can imagine, the longer you ride, the more points you'll earn, until the Lynx power cable unexpectedly gets yanked out. Or the batteries run out, which is also a high probability. Okay, Hacky Sack, Footbag. Oof, that sounds dirty. Far from the excitement of gnarly waves and mad tricks on the BMX track, Footbag consists of a yuppie on a riverbank with a probably recognisable American city in the background. Is that Chicago? I don't know. Anyway, you kick and headbutt a little bag around while trying to perform stunts as it's airborne. It's kind of, is unspectacular. Although you can hit the seagull that flies above you if you time yourself correctly. I played until I achieved that because I remember it from the NES port, and then I moved on because I was bored shitless. Okay, skateboarding. Oh, skateboarding. I was a keen skater in my teenage years, and even though I was never the best, I was committed and went through many pairs of shoes. My poor mum. I really did give this mode the old college try, but by God, I simply did not get it. I couldn't get the purple shorter guy to do anything except for run out of momentum or fall on his ass. I get that you hold down while going down and up while going up to attain some mad air, but at best, I crash landed hand plant attempts. The manual indicates there's quite a bit you can do trick-wise too, so I was quite bummed. Sorry guys, I wish I could show you more. I guess I just suck. Although googling strategy, I found forum posts where gamers were experiencing similar issues, which made me feel a tad bit better. If you have any pointers, please let me know. Graphic-wise, this port includes some nice sprite work, but also a few examples of impressive scaling. The intro screen of the rotating number plate is one such example, as well as the intro to the skateboarding mode. The highest score screen also includes a rollerblader whizzing by, the only time you see that here since rollerblading is an event in other versions. Flying Disc is also missing in this version, both of which I played on the NES. It looks great on a Mick Will screen, as well as outputting to a modern display, but if you're curious, here's what it would have looked like to most in the early 90s. And that's all I really have to say about Californian games. I guess I could have mentioned the music, especially that earworm at the start, but you've heard it throughout the whole video. I'll let you form your own opinion and save you the paragraph. I enjoyed revisiting Californian games, and I'll likely try it on other platforms if given the chance. It doesn't have much staying power, it's true, but fun is fun, and I don't regret plucking this off my shelf. It is a shame you can't save high scores though. If you can't brag and prove it, is it all really worth it?